All right. This is Chiraq. This is the Gangland series, and of course we know season one is Chiraq. This is Chiraq episode 10. And it's the story of Loca D, aka the female assassin. So we're gonna get into it. We'll give y'all a couple more minutes, which I know not too many people coming alive for these, but I just want to give y'all a few minutes to come in. So give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, all right. Let's get to it. Mm. Hold on one second. One more second. All right, we're ready. Let's get into it. So this is the story of Loca D. Loca D was actually the youngest Latin female disciple. Actually, I think probably the youngest at the time. So Loca D was born Jackie Martinez. She was born in 1976. She was born on the west side of Chicago in the hood of Humble Park. She was raised in poverty, spent a lot of time in the streets, just like a lot of kids did in Chicago back then. Um, her local D, which was she was Jacqueline then. Her father was pretty absent. He wasn't very present. Her mother remarried. She had a stepfather. Her stepfather was a high-ranking member of the Latin Kings. Keep now remember that Latin Kings. So she had a really rough childhood. You know, she saw a lot of drugs, a lot of stuff going on. Now, um, at the age of 7, look, Jacqueline, aka Loca D, father. Just one second. Oops, sorry. Keep it down, Jace. So at the age of 7, Loca D's uh, stepfather began to sexually abuse her. So he began to molest her. He began to molest her. So as this went on, in order to keep her quiet, numb the pain, all this stuff, he also began to feed her drugs. He would give her marijuana and he would give her cocaine. So at the age of, by the time she was 8 or 9, she was already on cocaine. So she was actually, she really didn't have any protection, which is really sad. And he just gave her the drugs to number, like I said. So when she was 10, she was actually hospitalized. She was hospitalized at the age of 10 because, and she was admitted for a cocaine overdose. She had taken a lot of cocaine. She had also taken, I can't remember the exact name of the drug, but it was her. She said she used to take her mother's seizure medication and everything. So she had overdosed at the age of 10. CPS came, but what's the crazy part is her father was like a really high ranking member of the Latin Kings, and he was very feared. And a lot of things, a lot of people turned the blind eye to a lot of things that was going on to the point to where CPS didn't even really get too involved like they should have. When you have a 10-year-old that freaking just overdosed on cocaine. Anywho, they turned a blind eye. She actually didn't tell anybody that she was being molested. Um, he was feeding her drugs. She was being numbed by the drugs. She finally told her mother when she was 12. When she turned 12, she told her mom what was going on. Now, I'm going to also tell you, according to Loca D, he used to severely beat her mother, threaten her. If she ever were to leave him, he would kill her. So then what Loca D mom did was she gave her away, not to a family member, not to anybody. She gave her to foster care. So by the time she was 12, she was placed into foster care. She ran away from the group home. She was put in a group home. She didn't have a foster family to care her, love her, and try to adopt her out. She was actually put in a group home. So she ran away from the group home. She did find her own family though. Once she ran from group home, she found her own family. But she did not find her family in the gang that her stepdad was. She actually found her family in one of their biggest rival gangs. So she found family in the Maniac Latin Disciples. Her dad is a high ranking, well, her stepdad is a high ranking member of the Latin Kings. Hey, Courtney, babe. I love you. Thank you so much for supporting this. Her dad was high ranking in the Latin Kings. She decided to join the Latin Maniac Disciples. Okay, so basically she was jumped in. In order to be jumped in, this girl is like 11 or 12 years old at this time. They basically beat her from head to toe. If you cover your face, then the beating is longer. If you stomp you out, these big grown men beating this little girl up to jump her into the game. She handled her shit like a G, got jumped in. So, basically, main ops is the Latin Kings. She's a maniac disciple. And her dad is a high ranking member of the Latin Kings. So she also had been locked up multiple times prior to this big thing that happened. She even had been locked up once for attempted murder in her young teens. I didn't specifically get the age. And why it was attempted murder is because she got into a physical fight with a female and she proceeded to beat the female with a hammer, putting her in, giving her a lot of bodily injury, and they charged her with attempted murder. She got through that. In 1992, fast forward, Loca D is 15. She had been working with Latin Maniac Disciples selling drugs. She managed to get her own apartment. She had her own car. Nobody in her own gang even knew how old she was. Nobody knew she was 15. Everyone thought she was a grown woman. She's, like I said, she supported herself by selling drugs. So now we're going to get to um, the biggest victim in this story. There's a young deaf kid named Mudo. Mudo was in school. He was a sweet kid. All of the people. Hey, Lady Steph. Hi. Thank you so much for supporting the Chiraq series. Mudo was deaf. He was disabled. All the folks, y'all know folks is gang term for gang members. All the folks used to take turns taking Mudo to school in the morning, picking him up. Mudo didn't want to get on the little small yellow bus. He felt embarrassed. People made fun of him. So the folks took care of him. They took him to school, took him to and from school. Little do they realize, though, that made Mudo a target. It made Mudo a target. So, all right. So, like I said, they took turns taking him to school. So people always saw him in folks' cars. You know, he was a disabled kid. Went to school. He was not a gangbanger anyway. He was not involved. The folks just took care of him. He's a neighborhood kid. You know, he had a loving mother. All that. May 10th, 1922, Lord Jesus. May 10th, 1992. Mudo was especially excited this day. This sweet boy, he wanted to go to school early because he wanted to get a card and some little candy and stuff for his mommy for Mother's Day. Loca basically worked the block at night. And you know how it goes back in the day when people would work the block, then one person will be there for a certain amount of hours. And then when somebody else comes to work the block, that's basically like a shift change. It's a street shift change. So Mudo's waiting in Loca D's car because it's her turn to take him to school. She'd been up all night selling drugs, so she was doing the street shift change. She was changing shifts with another Latin maniac while Mudo was still sitting in her car. A car pulled up with Latin Kings. Latin Kings, remember, is the gang that Loca D's father is a high-ranking member of. Hey, lady. Hey, Tina, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for supporting because I love to do these. It takes a lot of research. I know I don't get a lot of numbers from it, but it doesn't matter because I enjoy it. It's so enjoyable. And I have people that actually like it, like to see it. So just for you people that like it, I'm going to keep doing it. So this is what's so hurtful, you guys. Car with Latin Kings, child. I'm like addicted to these. Let me make me a refill. Car with some Latin Kings pulls up. And at Mudo had been blowing the horn at Loca, honey. Mudo was like, let's go. Mudo was ready to go. He wanted to get his gift for his mom. He was excited. Next thing you know, these Latin Kings pull up and they shot poor fucking Mudo. They blew this baby's brains out in Loca D's car. So mom alarm telling me to clock out. I'll do that in a second. So, you know, as moms, we have kind of intuition. She heard the gunshots. She came straight out. Lo and behold, it's her baby. Loca D couldn't console her. Of course, how can you? There's nothing she could do. So all Loca D could do was tell her mom, this lighting is killing me. Hold on. I think that might be a little better. That's much better, I think. I'm not sure. It's a little better, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, so she just basically told him, his mother, that she was going to get who did this to him. And she made her a promise. So the crazy part is Loca D found out who did it by way of the police. If y'all know anything about the police in Chiraq, they kind of like to let these guys kill each other off. They really do. And nobody can convince me otherwise. I was like, thank you. It's okay. Thank you so much for coming. Hey, it's better to be late than to, you came. You came, honey. I appreciate it, Tina baby. So, she found out who the suspects were from the police. I'm over here breaking my nails. Um, and then she attended the bond hearing, and the suspect bonded out of jail. The suspect that shot him. 2 days later, May 12th, 1992, Loca D went and got two of her fellow female Latin disciples. One being I'm gonna brutalize this gonna Muñeca. Muñeca, and her real name is Marilyn Manel, and she was a mother of two, 22 years old, and Tootie, aka Madeline Mendoza. I think she was like 20 as well. They both were 22, I think. No, she was 20, I believe. She wasn't really close to the two of these girls, but they was folks, from the same gang, so they folks. So the plan was basically to do a drive-by, right? The plan was we finna go through the Latin Kings area. We're gonna do a drive-by. We're gonna catch this dude. We're gonna get him. They drive around. Nobody's out. Nobody's out. So they're just driving. Then a car pulls up next to them. Now in the car, Loca D knew the driver. The driver was like, "What the fuck you doing over here in this hood?" Because he knows that she's a Latin maniac. What you doing in the hood? But he knows Loca D. Been knowing her whole life because Loca D's dad is a high-ranking member of the Latin Kings. So he knew Loca D's dad. And she told him, just riding. Then he noticed Tootie in the back seat. Tootie was a pretty girl. He started trying to shoot his shot at Tootie. Loca D looks over to the passenger side. And let me tell you, the driver that she knew, his name was Jimmy Cruz, and he's 22 years old. Now, the person in the passenger seat was actually Muto's killer, the suspect that had bonded out of jail. Loca D got a look at who they did it. Muto was in her car. So she knew who did it, and the feds just confirmed it. So this guy's uh, name is Hector Reyes. He's 22 years old as well. So they were flirting with Tootie, and they offered to meet at a public park. So they followed the guys to the park. Everybody has guns, mind you. Hey, chopping it up. Salute. Thank you so much for coming through. Yes, please like the video, you guys. I can't see my comments on my StreamYard for some reason. Um, yeah, please like the video. If you feel inclined to donate to the channel, I'm gonna drop my Cash App. Don't mind if I do. And if you don't do Cash App, also a thumbs up. That helps. The clicking of you helps. If you see an ad, watch the ad through. That's just as good as sending a few dollars to somebody. But back to the point. They meet at the park. Now Jimmy, who is the driver, keep in mind Jimmy's the driver. Hector is the passenger. Hector is the one that killed Mudo. The two girls are out talking with Muneka and Tootie are talking with Jimmy. Hector wants Loca D to go into the bathroom with him. At this point, everyone's flirting and talking, playing it off. So they go to the bathroom, and Hector proceeds to pull his junk out. Loca D tells him, "No, I'm not interested. I don't want to have, I don't want to have sex with you. We're just talking, and chilling. I ain't trying to do all that." And the mistake that Hector made was he said, well, what is this about? You don't want to do it because of what I did to Muda? Is that why? So when he said that to her, you is this is you don't want to mess around because of what I did to Muda? This like enraged her. She saw red. So Loca D pulls out her gun, boop, point blank, shoots and kills him right there on the spot. Now Jimmy's outside with the girls, right? He hears the gunshot, and being a man, he thinks, "Oh shit, Hector just killed Loca D," you know. But when Loca D walks out the bathroom, he then quickly realizes, "No, Loca D has killed my friend Hector." So then she says she sees him go to reach for his gun. She's running. This is according to the court documents as well in testimony. She's running with her gun and manages to shoot Jimmy in the head while in motion. So she shoots and kills Hector, shoots and kills Jimmy. She did it because she felt like he was going to shoot the girls and she had the gun. So even if he didn't get to her, she wanted to kill him because she didn't want him to shoot one of the girls. So the death and stuff, it didn't affect her at the moment. Hold on a second. Oh, did somebody do? Hold on, you guys. Muted. I'm tripping. Sorry. Thank you for the cash app. I was saying I appreciate it. Um, People tend to put it's not much, but in the comment, and I just want you to know if you send somebody $1, it's plenty because you don't have to support our grown asses on here. You watch the video, we monetize, we get paid that way. Anything you do is extra. I just want to throw that in there. So, can y'all hear me? Okay, so she says she at this point, Loca D, she's young, she's conditioned to this lifestyle to where she sees people get hurt and killed all the time. She's taken a life and she has no remorse. She doesn't feel anything. She really stop. Sorry. She basically felt like she did what she came to do. She avenged Mudo's death. So, like I said, she shot Jimmy in the head. Didn't want to harm one of the girls. She was spotted by another Latin king, and then he contacted her stepdad. And stepdad basically called Latin kings off and was like, "Let me handle it. Don't do anything." Because at the end of the day, I am high ranking above you guys, and that is my daughter. So the other two girls were apparently in the hood, running their mouth, bragging about what happened and all that stuff. And one of the girls, uh, Muneca, Tootie, sorry, was busted with a kilo of coke, and she actually flipped on the other two and told them what Loca D had done. Loca D was planning on going to Puerto Rico. She was going to go to Puerto Rico, but she hadn't went yet because she wasn't going to miss Mudo's funeral. She refused to miss Mudo's funeral. I'm gonna take the camera off for just 1 second. I hope y'all can still hear me. Cause I be trying not to smoke on camera too much. People be hating. But so matter of fact, I can stay on camera for a while. I'm gonna roll me one. So um all this is going on. She didn't want to miss Mudo's funeral, so she definitely wasn't going to do that. So she did not go to Puerto Rico. So Right after the funeral, right when they get out of the funeral, the police they had already prepared to arrest him, and they got them right after the funeral. Um, then her and Muneka, they didn't get to the yet. Her Loca D and Muneka, these cops were crooked, honey, and we're gonna get to that too. They were driven to the park where it happened. Try to get a confession out of this. Now remember, Loca D is 15. They shouldn't even be talking to her without a parent present. Then they took the girls to a Latin King territory where they could very well be killed or anything like that. And basically was like, if you guys don't confess and tell us what happened, we're gonna let you out right here and let them kill you. So they agreed to go back to the police station with them. Which that's very, you can't fucking do that. Okay. So they did that, and later these detectives were actually convicted of some stuff too, and I'll get to that too. But they were dirty cops. So Loca D's mom was under the impression that Loca D was just a witness. Like they wouldn't even let her be present when they questioned her. That's illegal. She was a minor. So there was no youth council, nor was her mother present. What's up, DJ Fucky Sue? Miss Parker. Hey y'all. I'm doing my gangland series. I hope y'all enjoy it. I love to do this so much. I don't really get much numbers on it, but I keep doing it because I enjoy doing the research and I enjoy telling the stories. So, they coerced a statement out of these girls. Basically, Loca D's 15 years old. She's underage, and they did not even let Loca D's mother see her until after they had gotten a written confession from her, with no parent present when they questioned her. No parent present. No counsel. No junior. What do they call it? No youth counsel. And they have to have that. That you're supposed to do that. So they got the statement out of the minor without a mom. Muneka signed a guilty plea, even though she didn't even kill anybody. What the cops did was they tried to like split it amongst. First of all, the guys was killed with one gun, the same gun. How they tried to make it like Local D came out and gave him the gun, and then she shot Jimmy, but Jimmy had a gun on him. So obviously Local D shot them both. But at this point, Local D was young. She wasn't remorseful. She didn't care. Wineka signed a statement and went on ahead and took a guilty plea because they fucked her over. She never killed anybody. Tootie then turned herself in. Uh, Loca D was the youngest female to be facing uh facing double murder. She was also the youngest female. Well, I'll get to that. Latin Kings went against Loca D's stepdad after this happened, because she was basically an op and killed a Latin king. So her stepdad was basically put out. Um, Loca D then got convicted August 10th of 1993. She was sentenced to life with no parole. So she was the first female child to be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, with no junior counsel present, without a parent present, all that. So, um, the case was actually thrown out and retried because, like I said, all the stuff I just said, the confession without the parent, all that stuff. She was offered 25 years, and Local D didn't want to take it. She should have took it. She knew she did it. She knew it, but she didn't take it. So basically, she said, "No, I'm not taking no 25 years." Blah 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 blah. So let's get to it. So her new trial was in 1996. And they actually still use the fucking statement. And this is crazy because that's why she should have took the deal. The Supreme Court threw that statement out because they gained that statement illegally. But Chicago's so crooked, they still use the statement anyways. So at this point, she got sentenced to 63 years. She had to serve half of that. So the life was no longer. She had to serve half of that. She was 17 at this time. Muneka got the death penalty. Muneka is the only one that was a mother. She had 2 kids. Muneka was sentenced to the death penalty because they believe she's one of the shooters, which she was not one of the shooters. Tootie took a plea deal for 34 years and she served 17 years. In 2005, Loca D had started to grow and get older and more remorseful and, you know, more forgiving and things like that. In 2005, Loca D made an official statement saying she was the one and only shooter, that Muneka had nothing to do with it. But Muneka's appeal still kept getting denied. So 3 years later, in 2008, Loca D was taken from confinement. She had been in confinement. Loca D was in there cutting up, girl. So Loca D had been in confinement, and I think she said she had like 3 months left in confinement. And they came and got her early out of confinement, and she didn't understand why. She was visiting her mom. Her mom was sick. Basically, 2 weeks later, her mom passed away. Now, this really, at this point, when Loca D's mom passed, Loca D was done. She was done. She didn't want to be a gangbanger no more. Like, even when she was in jail, everything was about being excuse me, I'm adjusting my underwear and shit. Everything was about being a disciple, a Latin disciple maniac. And she just was over it when her mom passed away. She learned, she said the biggest thing she learned in jail was compassion. She got her GED and then she got a college degree. She wanted to, she learned how to become a dog groomer. She wanted to learn as much as she could there because she felt like that she knew that she was coming home. So she learned these trades and stuff like that. So in 2009, Northwestern Law Group joined to help fight her case. It was ruled that it was unconstitutional to give a child, because she was 15, a mandatory life sentence without parole, and actually changed the law. And so it was ruled unconstitutional, blah, blah. So to sentence her without parole. She was sent to Cook County again in 2015. She was resentenced to, like I said, 63 years. She had to serve 31. She had done almost 27 years at this point. Also, might I add, well over 26 years. So in 2019, Muñeca case goes to review. Once the dirty cops that got the illegal confessions and all this stuff, it came out that they had framed 51 different people in different cases, 19 of them being murder cases. It helped Moneca's review for sure. She was the only mother of the 3. She was the only one that was sentenced to death because she was an adult and she didn't kill anybody. So she was looking at the death penalty. Alrighty, so she got let out basically. Loca D decided to finish her time. She didn't want to be involved with the, because basically also there was a court case suing the city of Chicago and stuff like that. Loca D wanted no part of it. She didn't want no money. She didn't feel like she had the right to sue nobody because she did the crime. She just wanted to finish doing her time. So Muneca filed suit because she did not kill anyone, and at this point, Muneca had served like 20 some years in prison. So, Like I said, Loca D didn't want it. She said, I'm actually guilty. She filed the suit. Loca D wasn't interested. Muneka was released April of 2020. And she is now seeking 17.5 million from the city of Chicago. And from when I looked into it, it's looking pretty good for her. They're probably gonna settle. She probably get about at least $10 million. Local D says she does not want a civil suit. She feels like she don't want to deal with it no more. She feels like it would be bringing the victim's family, put the victim's family through this all over again. But she also felt like Luneka had every right to do so because she did not pull a trigger or kill anyone, and she got taken away from her kids for all of those years, for 27 years, and was looking at the death penalty. Her kids have grown by the time she got out of jail. So finally, we get to I'm sorry, family. Oh my goodness, my back is itching. I don't get to go to any more court. So she grew to be remorseful while in prison. She didn't want the family to go to court. Local D served 31 years and was released this year, about 4 or 5 months ago. She was released this year. She is now trying to adjust to living in the free world, as you do. Um, the biggest thing to this though that was crazy to me is her stepdad actually gave his life to God. Uh, she said he's been apologizing to her for 30 years for what he did to her. He came and visited her week, every week for the full 31 years she spent in prison. He made sure that she had a relationship with her nieces. Um, he no longer abused her mother, and in her last day, she said that she found it crazy how he went from abusing her to fully taking care of her in her last days. So she forgave her father. She forgave her mother. She said the biggest thing she had to do was forgive herself for what she had done and stuff like that. So her and her dad actually still have a relationship. Um, like I said, he came to see her every week for 31 years, and he still profusely apologizes to her now, and she forgives him. Um, what else? Yeah, they have a better relationship, and she says she forgives him. She doesn't need any more apologies. And was apologetic to her mom for years too, because he had changed quite a while ago. Right when she went to jail, he got put out the Latin Kings. He never turned to try to go to any other gang, because it can happen. But he decided to turn his life to God. He actually sold everything that he gained from not sold, gave away like everything that was like of material value that he didn't think he needed, that he obtained through that lifestyle, gave it away and started anew and started fresh. He wanted everything in his home to be a blessing, something that he had to work for. So, Loca D is loving. She loves being an aunt. She has 2 jobs. She says it's a struggle every day adjusting, keeping her attitude in check, because she is on parole for 3 years. But if she violates within this 3 years, she would have to go back and do her other 31 and a half years. She'd have to finish out her 63-year sentence. So she says she had put bars on her window at first when she first got out because she was so institutionalized. But she's adjusting better. She's keeping her attitude in check. She plans on finishing her parole out. And she said it felt so great. She had an ankle monitor at first, but she said it felt so great to just sleep in a bed. And when she got her ankle monitor off, she was so excited to take a bath, like a full bath. And she was so excited to get in the swimming pool, go swimming. Things that we could do every day that we take for granted. She also said that she has started to travel now. Um, and like I said, it's hard and it's trying every day. But she says she's going to complete her 3 years parole so she could be completely free and never go back again. She does have remorse for the family of the man's life she took. She was 15. She felt justified in the moment because of what they did to Muda. You know, they killed that deaf baby, that disabled baby that wasn't even a gangbanger, and they did it in her car. So that was my story of Loca D. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Essentially, all these ladies spent about 20 something years in prison. I think Tootie served 17 or 20. Loca D served 31. Muneka served 27, 26 years. I'm just very happy that Muneka got away from it because I thought that was so fucked up. She didn't pull the trigger and their life got took from them. And Loca D was so cold that she just let it go. She didn't, because she didn't cooperate or speak to the police, but she could have easily said it was just me. But eventually she did. And death penalty got took off the table, and now it looks like Muneka is going to get a nice chunk of change from what happened to her. And as for those detectives, I think they were sentenced to like 28 or 29 years. So the detectives, and there's no parole. So they should be doing more time than some of those girls did for being dirty and crooked cops. So yeah, that was my story of Local D. I'm so happy I got this out. You guys don't even understand. I had meant to do this episode a month ago. I had taken full notes, studied, did all the research because I like to get my dates right. I like to get not only the street names, but the real names and everything. I like to look at the court documents myself. Hey, Lady Steph. 12. There you go. I had it mixed up. Not 21, 12. Okay, yeah, they got their time for me crooked motherfuckers. And yeah, so my next one I was thinking about maybe D Rose, or maybe I'll do a hood. I was thinking maybe that I would do the NLMB, No Limit Muskegon Brothers, and the versus uh KTS Pocket Town. Like they had a whole lot of ops. That one would actually be a good one. Cause I like to do the ones when it's a hood versus hood, like cause Tuckerville versus O Block is one of my favorite ones I've done, besides the Yummy Sandifer one. So if you guys have not seen it, please go watch Tuckerville versus O Block. You guys will love that one. Um, if you don't want to get emotional and cry, then don't watch the Yummy Sandifer one. I couldn't even hold it together, but it's really good stories. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I thank you guys so much for coming. Wait a minute, let me write that down. Y'all, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm gonna do a short. Uh, the next season will be the whole Florida gangs. The what is it? Fayetteville, Gainesville. What is it? Duval County. Sorry, it'll be all Duval County stuff. They got a lot of stuff going on. Okay, you said O B H. Oh, ARF. Yeah, that's a good one. ARF. You know, eventually I'm gonna have to move on to New York and all that other stuff too, with the whoopty and all that good stuff. So yeah, I still want to do a couple more Chiraq episodes though before I end this season because there's just so many stories. But I think I'm gonna do a No Limit Muskegon Boy. I'm gonna do an NLMB. And if y'all don't know, NLMB is a very, very, very big set in Chiraq. G Herbo is part of NLMB, and so was Lil Bibby. So yeah, you guys. So I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm gonna start working on notes for a couple of episodes tonight. I'm just not quite sure which one I'm going to do next. So I'm gonna put my email in here. If anybody has any suggestions on things that I can talk about, only for Chiraq because I'm still on the Chiraq sick. Well, no, don't not. Also, give me other ideas as well. But email me. with suggestions of who you would like for me to research and do stories on next. Because I'm even gonna do like I even want to do also like a true crime, a little bit of some true crime stuff. Maybe some cold cases that were solved recently. Maybe yeah, I think I'm gonna do some true crime stuff as well. Why not? Why not? Because who want y'all know me. This is the only way I'll stay consistent is if I could do content that actually means something to me. Sitting up here arguing, I like to fight. Well, I don't like to fight, but I'm a fighter. I don't like to sit up and argue. And then to sit up and argue about the same shit over and over, like, I love the beef sector. Don't get me wrong, it's so entertaining, and I'm always gonna be beef sector. But there are times where I need to decompress to where my algorithm don't even suggest nothing from the beef sector. But it always gets corny for some reason. I always catch corny. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing more things because you look at your girl's channel. I've been consistently coming on here sometimes twice a day. This is my second live today. Um, but this if I'm able to do content like that, it will keep me more consistent. You guys will see me often. So please support my content that doesn't have anything to do with beef. It means a lot to me. It means more to me than the beef stuff. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace out.